Welcome to the Ends of the Earth Travel Network, where we're traveling the world from our own homes. I'm Adventurer Andy. I love traveling the world, and I'm your host for this week's adventures. Together, we are learning about different countries around the world. Countries with different foods, money, languages, and lifestyles. But countries filled with people like us. People who need to hear and respond to the gospel of Jesus Christ. We've already learned about the country of Papua New Guinea. Now today, we're going to learn more about the country of India. India is located on the other side of the world from the United States. When it's morning in the United States, it's nighttime in India. Now I'm here in India at the Taj Mahal, one of India's most famous landmarks. It means crown of the palace, but it's not a palace. It's actually a beautiful ivory white marble tomb. You see, it was built by an emperor almost 400 years ago to be the tomb for his favorite wife. In fact, the Taj Mahal was constructed using materials from all over India and Asia because he loved his wife so much. They estimate that about 1,000 elephants were used to move all the stones and other needed materials for the building. Thankfully, there's a lot of elephants in India, so there was plenty of elephant power. In fact, millions of people come to see this beautiful building, the Taj Mahal, every year. It's one of the things people think about when they think of the country of India. Now, India is a really big country. There are just under 1.4 billion people in India, the second most of any country in the world, and over 4 times as many people as live in the United States. But India is only about 1/3 the size of the United States. So the people are crowded in a little bit more, or a lot more, than what we're used to in most of the United States. India has a lot of very large cities that tend to be very crowded. Not only do they have lots of people, but they have lots of traffic. And not just cars. On the streets in the cities in India, you'll see lots of bicycles and motorbikes. You'll see things called rickshaws, some of which are pulled by people, some of which are motorized. It's a fun way to travel around the cities of India. You'll see carts pulled by people or animals. Sometimes you'll just see animals walking by. Definitely better make sure you look both ways before crossing the street. In India, there are 22 different official languages. Not near as many as we learned are in Papua New Guinea, but still a lot. Imagine going to a different state in the United States, like traveling to Arkansas, and they speak a different language. Well, if you've ever been to Arkansas, you might think they sort of do. They sound different, but it's still English, just different accents. But in India, different states often have different languages. Thankfully, many people speak Hindi and English, so you don't have to learn all 22 languages to get around. My friend is going to teach you a bit about the languages in India.
Hello everybody, I just wanted to share with you some greetings that you can use both in Hindi, which is the national language, and in Marathi, which is my mother tongue from Maharashtra in India. When you say hello, there are 2 ways of greeting. In Hindi, you can join your hands together and say Namaste.
Can you say Namaste?
In Marathi, you can do the same and say Namaskar.
People in India need to hear the gospel, but they need to hear it in a language they understand. How many of you boys and girls know John 3:16? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. But could you say that to someone in India in Hindi?
यूहन्ना 3:16 क्योंकि परमेश्वर ने संसार से ऐसा प्रेम रखा कि अपना एकलौता पुत्र दे दिया कि जो कोई उस पर विश्वास करे नष्ट न हो परंतु शाश्वत जीवन पाए.
Or Marathi?
योहान 3:16 देवाने जगावर एवढी प्रीती केली की त्याने आपला एकुलता एक पुत्र दिला यासाठी की जो कोणी त्याचवर विश्वास ठेवतो त्याचा नाश होऊ नये तर त्याला सार्वकालिक जीवन प्राप्त व्हावे.
Sometimes being able to tell others the gospel means learning a new language. Well, languages aren't the only thing that varies a lot in different parts of India. Food varies widely depending on where you are as well. But you'll usually see a lot of flatbreads and rice and lots of good spices anywhere you go to eat Indian food. And you'll see lots of chai tea, even when it's hot outside. Often, instead of using silverware, people in India use their fingers or their flatbreads to eat. If you visited India, you'd need to get some different money to buy the things that you need. In India, they use rupees, not dollars. $1 equals about 75 rupees. You could get a lot of rupees for your dollars. But before you get too excited, everything costs more in rupees. Imagine seeing a pair of shoes on sale for $2,794. How many of your parents would spend that much on a pair of shoes for you? Probably not. Well, they might if it was in rupees, because that's only a little less than $40. Now, if you stay long enough in India, you'll see the monsoon season, which comes in the summertime and involves lots and lots and lots of rain. Sports are popular in India as well. As in most of the world, you will see kids playing soccer, or they call it football. But cricket is the favorite sport. Cricket is sort of like baseball, only you use a paddle instead of a bat. And there aren't bases, there are wickets, and only 2 of them. And instead of a pitcher, you have a bowler, because the ball has to bounce before you can hit it. And it usually takes a lot longer, like several days for a professional cricket match. So like I said, it's sort of like baseball in that someone's trying to hit a ball. If you ask someone in India what they believe about God, they might answer, which one? That's because most people in India are Hindu. They believe there are many different gods. Most have never heard the truth the Bible teaches about God and about the salvation that comes through Jesus. And if they have, they've just added Jesus as one more God to think about. They need to learn that there's only one true God, and we are accountable to Him, the Holy Creator. This is the foundation of the gospel that all people need to hear and respond to. And it's one of the things we're going to be learning together today here on the Ends of the Earth Travel Network, sponsored by Mission Air, where we're taking the gospel to the ends of the earth. So stay tuned, boys and girls, for the next episode of Grounded, right after this brief commercial break.
When I get hot and sweaty, I drink chai, a delicious tea enjoyed in India. That's more refreshing than... Drink chai, available wherever drinks are sold in India.
Fly Low Airlines Check-in Agent Training Video, Day 2. You've returned. That is half the battle. It is now your second day on the job. You are a seasoned professional of the check-in counter. You are a Fly Low Check-in Agent. Your process is simple. A customer approaches. You ask her, "Where are you traveling today?" She hands you her passport, and you check in her luggage. You then print off her boarding pass and send her on her merry way. Piece of cake, right?
Attention, Fly Low passengers. The 12:30 international flight to Mumbai, India has been delayed 5 hours due to a lack of toilet paper. All affected passengers, please report to gate A2.
Sir, I'm sorry, but I can't let him on that flight with you.
Oh, you know what? The plane is huge. He's small. He's the size of a cheeseburger. You're telling me there's nowhere on a ginormous plane for this little guy.
Sir, I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you to take your emotional support animal, which is a tarantula, on that flight.
You have no idea how bad things were. Before Harry came along, I couldn't even go on the jungle gym swings. You understand? I have a fear of heights.
Sir, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do.
No, there is something you can do. You can let him on the plane, because if I die up there today, it's because of you, sir. You!
Sir, I apologize for any inconvenience, but my supervisors won't allow me to let him on that flight.
What do you expect me to do with him, huh? Leave him in the corner to eat airplane food the rest of his life? That's disgusting. And besides, he's got depression. Do you have any idea what this can do to his personal self-worth? We've been working on it for weeks. Therapists are not cheap.
Sir, I'm sorry, but there's just nothing I can do.
You know what, sir? You, sir, you're useless. You're useless. Where's your superior? I need to talk to him, because you know what? When I'm through with you, sir, you're gonna need an emotional support animal more than I do. Come on, Harry.
Hello. I don't know if you remember me, Ulysses Farrington. I was the one who missed my flight yesterday to London.
Ah, yes, Mr. Farrington.
All right, and you're early, so there's no need to rush today.
Do you have your passport for me, sir? Yes, of course I have my passport. Right, here's some.
Do you keep your passport in your wallet, sir?
Oh, no, I don't.
No.
Well, I do have all sorts of other identification on me. My driver's license, my Chick-fil-A rewards card, my employee badge. Well, I mean, these work. They all have my picture.
I'm sorry, sir, but none of these will work.
But I have 3 different forms of identification on me. Why do I need a passport?
Oh dear, your customer is having a documentation dilemma. While flushed with cards that bear his name and face, he unfortunately does not have the one true form of identification for international travel: his government-issued passport. Without the one true form of identification, he might as well plan to spend another night at the airport.
Sir, I would suggest you call your government consulate to issue for a new passport. Without it, I can't allow you on this flight.
But I don't know how to contact them.
There you are, sir. You can call them through that number. Next customer, please.
Consulate of the United Kingdom. This is Tatiana.
Oh, you don't sound very British. Have I reached the right number?
Darling, did you need assistance?
Yes, I do need assistance. I seem to have misplaced my passport.
Please hold. Thank you for waiting, Mr.
Farrington.
I am going to need you to fill out a DS-11 application for passport, file a police report, provide proof of British citizenship, and get a new passport photo.
Will you take a passport photo for me?
Tomorrow's episode, The Clothes Make the Man.
Stay tuned for the good news coming up after a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, it's Megan, your physical trainer with Missionaire. And when you work for Missionaire, you may get the call to travel to far off countries, and you need to be ready as quickly as possible. Grab your activity pack from your supply box and find your travel bag scavenger hunt. We're gonna go through a drill to see if you're ready to go. You will have 60 seconds to find as many items as you can on this scavenger hunt. I want you to move as quickly as you can through your house and find the items. All you need to do is check it off. Don't grab the item and bring it back. I know you can do it. Remember, you have 60 seconds. And that starts now. Time's up. Remember, this was just a drill, and I'm sure you did a great job. Great job, everyone. Here at Missionaire, we're taking the gospel to the ends of the earth. Thanks for coming.
Hello, I'm Scott State, and welcome back to The Good News, the program dedicated to explaining and proclaiming the good news, Jesus Christ. Yesterday we learned that many people who need a Bible can't get one. We also learned that the Bible is where we can go to find out about God and where we can go to find out how we are saved. Well, today we're going to look at exactly what the Bible has to say about God. What comes into your mind when you hear about God? Are there many gods or just one God? Is it okay for you to make up your own God in your mind? To make up a God that you're comfortable with? Or do we have one true God that we have to know? So far, we've looked at two countries. One, Papua New Guinea. And in that country, they've made up gods in their own image. Basically, they worship their ancestors or nature. And we also learned about India. And in India, many people believe in many, many gods. But is that true? Well, today we need to go to the scriptures. We need to go to the Bible to find out exactly who God is. But the truth is, there's only one God, and he is known only through Jesus Christ. And it's absolutely essential that we know who that God is. Well, join me as we take a look at the scriptures to find out who the one true God is.
The world is full of the wonders that God has made. Creation is absolutely astounding. Vast oceans, majestic mountains, roaring rivers, and quiet meadows. And it all shows us there is a God. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." He created plants and countless stars millions of miles away, given for us to have light by night. He created roiling clouds that bring forth water, clouds that water the earth and bring forth vegetation and life on the earth. And he populated the earth with wildlife, countless animals that amaze and fill us with awe and tell of a magnificent designer. A God who creates with beauty and gives order with seasons, each following the next. His creation gives the ability for creatures to produce new creatures after their own kind. His nature works in harmony. For example, God gives bees the ability to produce after their own kind, who in turn pollinate the flowers and enable the flowers to cover a field in a beautiful display that proclaims God's greatness. Beauty and order made by a master creator who is actively involved in the heartbeat of each and every one of his creatures, sustaining them and keeping them alive. What do all of these wonders tell us?
Well, they tell us a lot. You know, some people look at the creation around us and they don't obey God, and so they say, you know what, there's no such thing as God. Well, we know that's not right. But some people look at the creation and say, well, maybe it tells us that there's God, but it doesn't tell us anything about him. Well, that's not right either. In Romans chapter 1, God tells us that through the creation, who He is and what He's like can be clearly seen. In fact, it says He made it evident to all people. In Psalm 19:1, it says the heavens are telling of the glory of God, and their expanse is declaring the work of His hands. That's just amazing. Sometimes when people are talking, they don't speak very clearly, especially maybe when kids are listening to their moms and their moms ask them something, and then they answer kind of something maybe like this. Well, it doesn't say that the heavens are mumbling about the glory of God. It says they're telling, they're declaring. The creation clearly tells us who God is and what He's like. It tells us that He is powerful, wise, good, and that we need to know Him.
Creation points to a creator. No one can honestly say there is no God because creation declares there is a creator. No one would look at a building and say there was not a builder because buildings don't build themselves. When we see a painting, we know there's a painter because paintings don't paint themselves. Well, in the same way, creation tells us that there is a creator. And if all we had was God's creation, we would see His majesty and His power and His order. Creation is God's masterwork, and it declares His glory. Has given us so much more. Because He loves us, He has chosen to show more about Himself through His Word.
There are a lot of things we can learn about God from the creation, but with just the creation, what we can't know about God is how that you and I can know Him, how we can know Him through the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's only in the Scripture that general revelation, that is what God has made clear about Himself in creation, is made evident to us, but more specifically, how we can know God, how we can be right with God through the work of Jesus Christ. This we learn only in the Scripture.
We need the Bible to teach us specifically about salvation. We need the Bible to teach us about the character of God. The Bible teaches us that God is holy, that God is just, that God is righteous. The Bible also teaches us that God is loving, and a loving God sends His perfect Son to die on the cross for our sins, and that by repenting and believing, we can be with this holy and righteous God. Without the Bible, we wouldn't know those things about God, and we wouldn't understand His truth. So I'm so glad God's given us the Bible.
Holiness means that He is set apart and sinless, and everything He does is right. One of the pictures of heaven that we get in the Bible is from Isaiah 6:3, where the angels are always saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." In fact, Habakkuk 1:13 says that God is so perfect that He does not even look on evil. God is completely separate from evil and sin. And the Bible teaches us that God is holy. It also tells us about who we are as human beings. The God of the Bible created everything in 6 days, and the pinnacle, or the top, or the crown jewel of God's creation is man. He created man in His image.
When you read the creation story in Genesis, you learn that God created many things, but He saved the last day of creation, the 6th day, to create the greatest of His creations, and that was man. Why is man? Why are you and I the greatest of God's creation in terms of all that He made in the world? It's because we are made, unlike everything else God made, we are made in His image. What does it mean that you and I are made in the image of God? Well, it's a very complex idea, but let me just give you a couple things to think about. First of all, it means that we were made with a moral nature. That is, we can display some of the moral attributes or qualities that are true about God. We can display holiness and righteousness, not to the same extent that God does, but the same qualities that God does. The same thing in terms of love and compassion. These are qualities, moral qualities that are ours because we're made in the image of God. They're possible because we're made in the image of God. Adam was able to display those qualities in his innocence before his sin in a way without sin. In addition to that, we as those made in the image of God are relational. We interact with others. God in this Trinity, the three persons of the Trinity, they interacted together in eternity past, and we were made to be relational as well. And in addition to that, we were made rational. That is, we have reason, we have an intellect and will, and we can think and analyze, and we're creative. We can be creative in the same way, although not to the same extent that God is. Those are ways that we are made in the image of God.
As human beings, we have a soul and we bear God's image because we have some of His attributes or characteristics or qualities, such as love, justice, grace, and mercy. We create and talk to one another. We are different from the rest of creation. Although we are the greatest of God's creation, we are still under His authority. God is our Creator, and we are His creatures. Psalm 24:1 says that the earth is the Lord's and all it contains, the world and those who dwell in it.
We know from the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, it tells us that God is the very one who created everything. But here in Psalms 24:1, it tells us that He owns everything. If you create something, you basically own it. That's how the world works. You create a particular process or a particular product. You create something. I have this particular bobblehead of C.H. Spurgeon. It was created by someone, and perhaps it is patented. That means only they can produce it, or they can give the rights for others to produce it. But they own the rights to it. And in the same way, God it is who has created you and me, and He has right over you and me. He is not subject to us. He is not to be submissive to us, but rather we are subject to Him. We are to be submissive to Him. And so when the Bible says God created everything and owns everything, that means we don't have right over ourselves, but God has right over us. I have a son a 7-year-old son, almost 7-year-old, who loves to create different things with thousands of Lego pieces that he has, and he will create something and he will show me and he'll say, look, this is what I created. Now, because he has created it, he owns the right to it, and he can destroy and create something completely different. When you create something, you have the right over it, and that's what God has over you and over me. He owns us, He has right over us, and we are to be subject to Him. We are to listen to Him and to His word, and we are to honor Him and to obey Him in all ways.
Our holy God has created all things, and all people need to know who He is. The people of India, for example, need to hear that there is only one God, the God of the Bible. He has created them, and they are to be obedient to Him. But how will they hear that? Will you help get them the message?
God is unbelievably awesome. It is so great to learn how majestic and powerful God is. He is perfect and holy, and He's created all things with words from His mouth. So we learn that God is holy, but 1 Peter tells us that we are also to be perfect and holy too. Well, join me tomorrow as we'll look at ourselves, we'll look at mankind, the pinnacle or the crown jewel of God's awesome creation. We were created to love, obey, and enjoy God forever. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll look at mankind, and we'll see how we've done in our task of holiness.
Stay tuned for Let's Sing, coming up after this brief commercial break.
Dave Flemming, and we're Flemming & Sons Flag Company. And we sell flags door to door. Flags! Flags for sale! Buy our fabulous flags! Son number one, why don't you tell them about the featured flag of the day?
Sure thing, Dad. Today's flag is the fabulous flag of India.
Today, I will explain the colors of this exciting flag.
Whoa! Dude, it's already looking great. Look! Ow! It has this lovely orange stripe all the way across the front. It looks a lot like a California sunrise. Whoa!
That is not orange. It is saffron.
Whoa! Dude, chill out.
Well, as you have seen, it is a saffron stripe with a peaceful white stripe and a faithful green stripe with a spinning wheel in the middle.
Speaking of spinning, hold this please.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of spinning, I have been spinning quite a few numbers, and we have a bunch of Papua New Guinea flags left over from yesterday. What are we going to do? Oh, wait a second. I got an idea. We should have a sale.
Whoa! No way, dude. I love sales. What's up, all you dudes and dudettes? If you buy an India flag right now, we'll throw in a Papua New Guinea flag for free.
Free? But if we sell them for free, that means we'll be making nothing.
Bro, chill out. Free is free. As I was saying, dudesettes, if you order now, you will be getting an India flag and a Papua New Guinea flag for free. If it's free, it's for me. AKA, it's for you.
All right, boys, let's head out to our first house and show them what we got.
Let's go!
1,
2, 3,
4.
Let's sell some flags! Whoa.
Hey, it's the Flemming & Sons Flag Company.
Yeah.
Flemming & Sons Flag Company, coming soon to a door near you.
Hello, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Bigelow, and this is Abby and Grace, and it is our joy to lead you in singing and worship this week as the Let's Sing team. Psalm 67:3 says, "Let the peoples praise you, O God." So we invite you to join us by doing the motions and singing along to praise our God and learn more about the good news of the gospel. So, let's sing!
Your love will last forever. It's like a mighty river that flows and flows forever, never stopping. Your awesome love protects me. When I sin, your love corrects me. You're faithful to direct me always to your love. And when I think of everything about me. You know when I wake and sleep. You know everything I'm thinking. You know all my secret deeds. You know every word I say long before I say it. You know everywhere I go and all my ways. You are always with me, Jesus. Where could I go? Where could I hide? You are always with me, Jesus. Where could I go? You never leave my side.
Here we go. We're gonna fly.
If I flew away to heaven, Jesus, there I would find you. If I sank into the ocean, Jesus, you would be there too. Even in the darkest night, to you it's brightest day. You have laid your hand on me. It's wonderful. You are always with me, Jesus. Where could I go? Where could I hide? You are always with me, Jesus. Where could I go? You never leave my side.
Okay, we're gonna sing it through a couple more times. Watch out for our special claps. See if you can follow along. Here we go. How about up and down?
You are always with me, Jesus. Where could I go? Where could I hide?
Good job.
You are always with me,
and you follow the girls. Here we go.
Jesus came to earth. He lived a perfect life. He died upon the cross. Then he rose from the dead. Now he is in heaven. Seated on his throne. At the right hand of the Father. Where heaven is his home. We praise you, Jesus.
Up and down.
Son of God. We praise you, Jesus. Son of Man. You left your throne of grace to suffer in our place. So we praise you, Jesus Christ. We praise you, Jesus, Son of God.
Come on, you can stay with me.
We praise you, Jesus, Son of Man. You left your throne of grace to suffer in our place. So we praise you, Jesus Christ. So we praise you, Jesus Christ. So we praise you, Jesus Christ.
Good job. Great singing. And that's the gospel, kids, right there. All right, good job.
Stay tuned for Trendy Travelers, your passport to crafts around the world. Coming up after a word from our sponsor.
Hello, I'm Flight Attendant Florence, but you can call me Flo. I'm here to show you how I train flight attendants at Missionaire to take the gospel to the ends of the earth. In today's training video, I'm going to tell you about the owner and the creator of the world, our great God. Did you know that everything that we see and touch is God's creation? That means that everything is His. Psalm 24:1 says that the earth is the Lord's and all it contains, the world and those who dwell in it. All right, future flight attendants, if you can, please stand up and let's say the verse and do the motions together. We're gonna do part 1 first. All right, Psalm 24:1. The earth is the Lord's and all it contains. Let's do it again. Psalm 24:1. The earth is the Lord's and all it contains. Very nice. Let's do part 2 now. The world and those who dwell in it. Let's do it again. The world and those who dwell in it. All right, let's put it all together. Psalm 24:1. The earth is the Lord's and all it contains, the world and those who dwell in it. Great job, flight attendants. Thank you for participating in this training video. At Missionaire, we are training future flight attendants and others to take the gospel to the ends of the earth. Until next time.
Trendy Travelers, your passport to craft around the globe. So, we heard you all are learning about India today. India is one of our favorite places to travel.
When I went to Goa, we went into the Arabian Sea and it was really salty. And we had mangoes like almost every day, almost with every meal even.
You'd think you'd get tired of it. Are they really good?
They are good. They're so good. Definitely try them if you ever go to India.
Yeah, and guess what? one of India's most special animals is the elephant. And so today we decided to highlight that animal in our craft. Woo! So what you're gonna need for this craft is a blank canvas, okay, a paper elephant, okay, you're gonna want some glue, 2 bags, okay, of sand, a Q-tip, and if you have any spare tape at home, make sure to pull that out too. So now, let's get to it.
Let's get it!
The first thing you're going to want to do is take your elephant and tape it to your canvas. Next, you're going to use the Q-tip and dip it in the glue and put the glue all around the elephant, spreading it evenly and thinly. Next, you're going to sprinkle your sand where you want it on your canvas. You're then going to let it sit and let it dry. Once it's dry, you're going to gently shake off the sand and then remove the elephant. Voila! You're done! Beautiful work! Okay, now it's your turn. Go and make it.
Stay tuned for Tasting Around the World with Mr. and Mrs. B, coming up after a brief commercial break.
Welcome back to the Attic Roadshow. We have a treat for you today. Evelyn, what did you bring to us?
Well, my mother was a civil engineer working on the canals in northern India in the 1950s, and she brought some pretty fabrics and pretty garments back with her, and I just wanted to bring it in and show it to you and see what you thought of it.
Well, I'm so glad that you did. This item of clothing is called Lehenga Kali. This particular example is beautifully designed and dyed. These are worn in regions that span all over India and portions of Nepal. Worn in semi-formal occasions, depending on local customs. Do you have any idea how much it would be worth?
No, but I know my mother always bought quality.
Well, at auction, I think this would bring about $1,300.
Wow, that's incredible.
From all over the world, China, Iran, and Chile, to Papua New Guinea and India, there's always something new to see on the Attic Roadshow. You never know what kinds of things you can find in an attic, what their value might be. It might be beyond your wildest dreams. Come and join us at the Attic Roadshow.
So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God.
Where are we going today, Mr.
Today we're going to do food from India, and at first we're going to do the vegetable Hakka noodles.
And we're going to start off with, I've already boiled my Hakka noodles. I didn't think you needed to watch me boil noodles. But boil your noodles first, and then we're going to add everything together in this pot. This pot is what's called a wok.
Wok?
W-O-K. So now what we're going to do, we've got it heated up nicely. We're going to take the lid off of it, and we're going to put the lid off to the side. It's pretty hot.
Very hot.
Very hot.
Feel the heat.
All right. This is a green pepper.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's gigantic.
Ginormous.
It's called a jalapeno. You only want to add just a little bit, okay? Now, we've got that taken care of, right? So now, what it says is, we're going to heat the wok. We've already done that. And we're going to add some oil, all right? Here is pure black sesame oil. And we're going to add some of that to the wok, like that, right? And we're going to add a little bit of olive oil too, just so that it has a little higher heat. You can take the heat without scorching. So once the oil gets heated, then we're going to add in, where's our celery? Oh, here's our celery.
Yeah.
Is that just yummy? Here's our celery. So we're going to add in all of our vegetables and our celery.
Wonderful.
There you go. Ooh, that already smells so good, doesn't it, Mr.
It sure does.
Ooh, yum, yum, yum. Now I'm going to need you to measure the different sauces that are going to go in this and make it taste yummy.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, okay, so now use that spoon and stir around
Okay.
your goodies. Yeah.
This is a concoction.
How about that?
All right.
Now we get to toss in the noodles.
All right.
Okay, Mr. B, you ready?
I am.
Dump it in.
Boom.
Bam! And do you see these noodles? They're kind of wide and yummy, so they're gonna take in all the seasonings and the soy sauce and everything. We did not add our soy sauce, or did we add our soy sauce?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, we need 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce.
Did I put that in?
I don't remember, but we're gonna add more. Well, okay.
This is 2. We're gonna
All
pour it right in there, huh?
Right on the noodles.
2.5.
Ooh, yum, yum. All right.
Soy sauce is good stuff.
And you have to keep tossing it so that your noodles don't get jealous because one of the other ones gets more flavor than the other. All right, so now toss in your little bowl of yummy. Just dump it on in there, Mr. B. Ha, 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 ha. Oh,
Wow.
is that lovely?
Sure making a lot of noise too.
Yeah, it's pretty noisy. Oh, look at that, guys. I love noodles. Look at that. Yum. Oh.
So how long do we do this?
Just until everything's nice and coated. And it's so beautiful. All right, we're gonna leave it like that. So try a little piece. You gotta blow on it because you don't want to. And you need a vegetable on there, Mr. B, because you gotta eat your vegetables. Here.
Oh man.
There you go.
Wow, that's huge.
Yum.
There it goes.
Here we go.
I'm adventurous.
Hurry.
Mmm.
Is that delicious?
That tastes great.
Yeah, so you try that at home, okay? Now we're gonna try our second dish, ice gola. You're gonna love it. Okay, you're gonna need a blender because we're going to have to make the snow that makes the snowball, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna need any kind of syrups. So the first thing we need to do, Mr. B,
Yes.
is we need to add a bunch of ice
Okay.
to our blender. And you want to do this fast so that it doesn't melt all over the place on you. You know what? This is going to take too long. Mrs. B's going to use one of these bad boys. So you can put that over there, Mr. B. And we're going to put the cover on. And this is going to be so loud, it's going to sound like an explosion. So hold on. We're going to get this done, and you're going to see it turn into...
Nice.
Here we go.
All right.
It does really look like snow, doesn't it?
It does.
Mr. B?
White and fluffy.
Okay, so now we're going to take the snow out, and we're going to put it in little cups. And you can use whatever little cups you have. Yeah. And you want to tap it down like this.
Mash it.
Kind of mash it down, right, Mr. B? Now, you don't fill it, you only fill it halfway, and then you get your popsicle stick and you shove it down there in the middle, and then you finish. Here, you need a popsicle stick, Mr. B?
do.
There you go. And this is a great cold treat for summer. Because, you know, in Texas, it gets up to about 300 degrees. So having a nice cold treat like this is a lot of fun. And anyone can make this. This is real easy to make. All right? So now, once I have that packed, I'm gonna use the blackberry syrup for mine. A blackberry and a green. How about that? Okay, so now you take it out and look at that.
Wow, it just stays together by itself.
Just like that. Okay, and use a little bowl while you're drizzling it with your syrup.
Drizzle?
And you just drizzle it.
Drizzle?
All over like that, yeah. Okay, you can use that same spoon.
Okay, I will.
Are you going to try that, Mr. B, or are you going to
betcha.
do a 3 flavor?
I'm going to do 3 flavors.
Okay, Mrs. B's going to try some and see how it turned out.
How did it taste? Sweet?
Ooh,
cold? Yummy?
That is so refreshing.
Man.
Is that good, Mr. B?
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got the key lime, so that kind of makes you pucker, huh?
It's good.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's talk about some of our things that we have over there here. Everyone that gets a VBS pack is going to get this little delicious yummy from India. It's called Parle-G. Over here we have chai tea, which is a yummy, yummy beverage from India. And here, This is a fruit. This is called mango.
A mango?
This is a mango. This is a cut up mango right here. Look at how pretty the colors
Yellow.
are. Just to remind you, okay, we went and we had India Hakka noodles and we made ice gola. And this is all food you can get off the street markets in India, and everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. Bye!
We've been learning this week that all people everywhere need to hear and respond to the gospel. Each day, we've been learning one verse about the gospel. Our verse for the week is Psalm 96, 2 and 3, that says, "Proclaim good tidings of his salvation from day to day. Tell of his glory among the nations, his wonderful deeds among all the peoples." This verse reminds us that we are to tell the good news of the gospel, of what God has done to all peoples of the world, to all nations. That's what we've been thinking about together this week, and I hope you'll work hard to learn that verse this week in addition to the verses that we're learning each and every day. Let's review that verse together with some of my favorite animal friends from around the world. In some countries, missionaries have to be very careful because the government or other people aren't excited that they're there to tell people about Jesus. And so they have to be careful how much they say online, on social media, or things like that, because they might not be able to stay in the country and continue their ministry. So this week, we're not going to talk to a missionary from India, but we are really thankful to have another missionary today who is doing similar things as what missionaries do in countries like India. I'm so thankful to have the Seahusens with us, who are missionaries in the country of Fiji, all the way around on the other side of the world. Welcome, Seahusens. We're so glad to have you with us.
Hello, boys and girls.
Why don't you introduce us to your family?
I'm Michael.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Tosh, and I'm 5, and this is my baby sister Tori, and she's 2.
Good job!
So why did you move your family all the way around the world to Fiji?
Our family moved to Fiji so that I could help train pastors. We wanted to help pastors be able to teach the people in their churches about Jesus.
What is different about life in Fiji?
The grocery shopping in Fiji is different. Taj, where are we?
We're at the farmer's market, and as you can see, there's pineapple, and there's apples, and oranges.
The fish in Fiji are different. These fishermen just caught this. Look, Taj. So they sell these at stands along the road.
Here in Fiji, some of the houses look different. This is a traditional Fijian-style home called a bure. Here in Fiji, the towns look different. Today, we're going to drive through Nandi Town so that you can see what our biggest shopping area looks like.
How we say hello in Fiji is different.
Bula!
So what do kids like to do in Fiji?
People like to climb coconut trees, and they like to go swimming, and they like to play football, and they like to play soccer, and go swimming in lakes, and they like to ride horses.
How are you working to help others hear the good news of the gospel?
We do a lot of things to make sure that people know the gospel. One of my main jobs is that I'm a teacher at a Bible college. So my job is to train pastors. When students come to that school, I want to make sure that when they start a church or they go back to their village or community, they know how to pick up the Bible and read the Bible, understand what it says, so that they can teach it to everyone in their home, in their church, in their area. I also use every opportunity to make sure that if we have a holiday like Christmas, that we can tell kids in the area about Jesus. We do a lot of things with Bible studies and good news clubs to make sure that everyone knows that Jesus died for their sins.
Well, thanks, Seahusans, for joining us. Let's be praying for them and their ministry in Fiji. Well, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed our time together on the Ends of the Earth Travel Network today. If you have a passport, it's time to put today's sticker in. So take out today's sticker and add it to your passport book. And know that you can continue to learn more about today's country with additional resources available in your supply box or sent to your parents over email. We are learning that all people need to hear and respond to the gospel, and that we who know and believe the gospel should be excited to share that good news with others. That means we should tell people the gospel, and we should be excited to help others go and tell people the gospel in other parts of the world. We do that by supporting missionaries. We can help give money to our churches or directly to missionaries so that they can live and serve in other parts of the world. Our VBS here at the Ends of the Earth Travel Network, we're collecting money to help these missionaries that we've been meeting this week. You can collect money for them by putting it in your little offering box if you have one in your supply box, or you can go online to countrysidebible.org/VBS, and there's a form where you can contribute there. Or if you're part of another church who helps missionaries, you can give money to them. Now, we're having a little contest this week about missions money given and our memory verses. In fact, on your missions box, there's a color, either your team. Have a missions offering box, just pick a color for the week and join that team. Blue, and then here's what you're gonna do. Every day after VBS, you can say your verse to your mom or dad or your grandma or some other adult, and then they can go online to our VBS page and fill out a quick form telling us your team and that you said your verse. You can also put there that you gave some money to missions. If you put money in your offering box today or you gave online, note that on your form. You have to do it by 7 o'clock tonight, and then tomorrow morning, be sure to have your parents check their email to find out which team said the most verses and gave the most to our missions offering. And also, we'd love to see pictures of your VBS at home. If your parents take some of you doing an activity or a craft or enjoying our time together, post them to social media, #CBCVBS2020. We'd love to see all the fun that you're having. Well, boys and girls, hope to see you again tomorrow on the To the Ends of the Earth Travel Network. Have a great day.